Well, good morning, folks. Well, I'm here at Cashel. The famous rocky Cashel is behind me, and I'm about to start on my St. Declan's Pilgrim Way trek. So, heading to Cahir today on the first stage of 5 stages on the St. Declan's Way. So once again, I've been very lucky. I've picked the most gorgeous day to take on this beautiful trek, St. Declan's Way once again. Looking up there at the famous rock of Cashel, the seat of the High King of Ireland, basking in glorious sunshine, early morning, I head on my way to Cahir. Now, as I said to you before, this is my second time taking on St. Declan's Pilgrim Way. St. Dominic's Friary was founded for the Dominicans by Archbishop David McKelly in 1243. It was destroyed by fire but was rebuilt by Archbishop John Cantwell. Now, the early stages of St. Declan's Way, you travel through the back streets of this heritage town of Cashel. Now it's quite early in the morning, and I'm here on the main street of Cashel. What you're looking at here is the Cashel Palace Hotel. Now, it's a truly gorgeous morning for walking, and the countryside today will be looking at its best. The best about being an early mover with intentions of doing a walk like this is to get up and about and get moving before people are out and about. Well, now I'm on the outskirts of Cashel already, having departed the Rock of Cashel 25 minutes ago. So I'll wait now till I get into a rural setting, and I'll start removing the outer garments, because it's now 13 degrees. But it surely is the most splendid morning to be out and about once again doing walking, trekking St. Declan's Pilgrim Way, Stage 1, Iverhane. Busy roundabout here, so anybody following my footsteps, take care. If you're walking alone, take care. The entrance here to the motorway, which is to Dublin, the M8, I go over the bridge and I deviate then to the left on a quiet country road. Now, I'm traversing the bridge here over the M8, and that's the M8 motorway heading to Dublin. So then, first left. So on exiting the second roundabout, you go left to the L5414, and that brings you into roads less travelled. And then, folks, you follow the white and blue arrows pointing to St. Declan's Way. Now, when I find myself walking upon public roads, I'll always adhere to the rule to walk on the right hand side and face the traffic. What a privilege to be able to get out and enjoy this magnificent country on a gorgeous morning like this. So I'm fulfilling my promise to myself 2 years ago this week to go back and walk St. Declan's Way once again. And today I'm on the trail once again, stage 1, from Cashel to Cahir. Now, as I approach this spot here in the heart of the countryside, I remember distinctly 2 years ago this week, walking along here, I encountered 2 individuals that were intending to give me some grief over a camera. And I minded my own business and I heading for Cahir. And they had other intentions. And I told them that morning that I came looking for trouble. They came to the right place. I tell people all the time just to be aware of their surroundings, especially in unfamiliar territory. Garments removed and the air conditioning is on. And my goodness, do I need it on. Well, the garments are off and the air conditioning is switched on. Air conditioning is switched on, and boy do I need it. Elevate your eyes to the heavens. You can see the train tracks and trails from all the long distance passenger jets traveling to all exotic parts in the world. But my exotic part of the world today is here on St. Declan's Way. The countryside once again to myself. The roads less travelled. The vegetation on either side prolific, in bloom. Birds scurrying left, right and centre of me. The smell of early summer in the air. The aromas of life. What else could I want on a morning like this? Where else would I want to be in a morning like this? There is something very special about doing pilgrim walks. This particular one, I really can't tell you what it is. It's a sort of a personal thing with me, coupled with the great outdoors and this long distance walk over the 5/6 stages. I feel when I do this walk, I feel I've done something very worthy, something very worthwhile in my life. Again, as I say, it's a sort of rebirthing of myself. At this hour of the morning, quite early, not long after sunrise, I feel that, my goodness, this is the place to be. This is the place to treasure. Anybody of you out there watching this video and feel they might like to tackle a stage or 2 or all of St. Declan's Pilgrim Way, I would wholeheartedly recommend you doing at least one. Get the feel for it. It's not a short trek by any means. In fact, it's the perfect distance for all and sundry, with an ability to spend a few hours on foot, regardless of weather. Today, of course, is the exception. So as my t-shirt says, the great outdoors, that's where I am today. So I invite you all, 40 minutes into my trek, to tag along with me. And let's do this stage 1 together. Come on. I think people need to embrace this St. Declan's Pilgrim Way. As you walk along here in this Tipperary countryside and you come across a roadside farm and you can hear the drone of the milking machines doing the early morning milking, the first milking of the day. You know you're in the country. Then you come to other little houses and cottages, and the blinds are pulled and the drive has the cars parked up and people are still in the labbas. So life meanders along purposely, and my purpose this morning is to walk this beautiful countryside to Cahir. That's my purpose, and I think everybody's day should have a purpose. Just received the big salute and hi from the local farmer. He's gone up his long passageway there on a quad machine after herding his valuable livestock onto the road and across into the other paddock, which I suppose really his farm is dissected by this road. I'm in a frame of mind right now that I could actually walk 2 stages today. I really and truly could. It's just broadened my intention, left me feel serene and calm and worthy of 2 stages. But we don't want to overdo the strain and suffer for 2 or 3 days afterwards. So we'll concentrate, or I'll concentrate rather, on stage Ibrahim today. And for 7 days, up to last night at 12 o'clock, I've walked 96.13 kilometers. Now, probably a bit too much to be quite honest, but when I begin walking and the great outdoors looms in front of me, there's little or no encouragement to cease walking. With that view, that live video, encourage some of you to don the boots and the backpack and go for it. Be honest, yes or no. You come down here to your left and you have to cross over. Now, over on the left hand side near the electricity pole is our little synonymous sign that should tell us that St. Declan's Way is to our right. And it does. Here amongst the bluebells. From my last experience of walking St. Declan's Way, my first time 2 years ago, I did mention that when you come to an intersection like that one back there, you have to look for the little blue and white circular sign on the pole. It's quite evident that mostly the people of Ireland now take great pride in maintaining their local area. were I a landscape painter, I'd be sitting under one of those large trees yet to green up and be painting that scene. I mean, looking there at this picture, I'm looking out there at that rapeseed oil crop, framed with the mountains behind it and the blue sky with the jet trails running randomly throughout the sky. The sun is beating down on me. But it's such a beautiful picture here this morning. This is truly the Pilgrim Way. I'm convinced that everything that I'm showing you this morning is inspired from another dimension. And I'm very, very happy and appreciative that I can be part of it, enjoy it, savor it, eat it, drink it, and show it to you people. I'm coming up here now to a crow rookery, and there's hyperactivity on high up on the canopy. There's a sign on a wall there of the farmhouse to my right, and it says Sycamore Hill. Perhaps this is the name of the area that I'm now walking through. And then you've got the train tracks in the sky. I love densely vegetated places, fields with large mature trees, forests with many trees, gladed areas over rivers. I'm not really much into open country, but yeah, I do walk through. I walk through all environments, but my favorite environment is where there's trees and a lot of vegetation and the sounds of nature. I didn't bring any of the birds with me today. I have two. I didn't bring neither because I know on this stage one it's mostly walking on roads and there's a lot of trees. But on stages 2, 3, 4 and 5 I'll once again bring one of the birds and we'll put it on high and show you the Emerald Isle from above. Now if you go back to 2 years ago on my YouTube and Facebook channels or sites, you will find the 5 stages of my trek on St. Declan's Way. You will. I did a comprehensive documentary, much research. They were very well liked and looked at, and thank you for that. But if you want to go back and see my exploits of my first St. Declan's Way Odyssey, my Facebook and YouTube sites will bring you there. You might enjoy. Just to give you a true indication of the type of terrain, the first hour of walking on the first stage of St. Declan's Way from Cashel, having begun in Cashel. This is the type of roadway, the road network that you'll be walking upon. Now I have met quite a few vehicles this morning, met a few farmers, but relatively quiet. So this is really what you'd be walking upon here. A very, very quiet country road. You got good boots. The tarmac macadam will be the least of your problems. And everybody has the ability to walk certain amounts. So once more, contemplate, consider, deliberate, decide or not decide if St. Declan's Way is worth having a walk upon. I'm here admiring, I think it's a jay. It is a jay, but they're awfully shy and they can be pretty skittish. In fact, I think there are 2 jays there. But whatever chance I had getting them up close, I've now destroyed by talking. I honestly believe this morning that if I were to spend a year wishing for a walk like this, in weather like this, in countryside like this, I'd fail in my wishing mode. There would be many, many words of description that one could apply to my environment this morning. You're coming along here at my own pace, and I'm taking in all the scenery and all the sounds. In fact, I've seen 2 swallows right now. Yep, first 2 this year, 2 swallows. So it must be early summer, but shorts on today for this walk. This is a special occasion. Well, it is a special occasion for me, and I'm going to savour and delight in the next few hours of trekking through this Tipperary countryside. Standing here on a hedgerow, overlooking the most majestic looking crop of rapeseed oil, glowing here in an early morning, summer's morning, it is just delightful. You're standing here now at a junction on a quiet road in County Tipperary, and the distractions regards beauty are overpowering. Now folks, when you're walking and you come to junctions and so forth and crossroads, keep an eye out for this sign, the blue and white St. Declan's Way. I'm bringing you along here with me this morning, and it is still very early morning. I'm not charging you for the privilege of accompanying me along this walk, but I'm showing you delightful scenery and extreme and gorgeous conditions. Once again, of course, I'm doing all the walking as usual, and once again I'm doing all the talking as usual, probably too much of it. A thought that I've had here as I walk along this gorgeous countryside, I'm admiring the scenery, I'm observing everything in my power and in my midst. I'm listening to the wildlife. My body is cooperating, but I forget about my feet. And actually, I never really think about my feet, and they do all the moving and the heavy lifting. They just keep going forever. Absolutely forever. So I don't ever get tired. I just immerse myself into the project and the adventure, and I get on with it. We surely do live in the most beautiful country. We surely do. Now, as we walk along here on roads less travelled, we pass many, many acres of winter barley. And in weather like this will escalate the maturing of the crop. Seems to go on forever. This is a beautiful agricultural part of Tipperary. And my trek continues towards Cahir on St. Declan's Pilgrim Way, stage 1 from Cashel to Cahir. Are you all still with me there? Or have I bored you to tears and, like Elvis, left the building? Hopefully not. I'm trying to bring you on this tour and be as informative and descriptive as possible. And I hope I'm doing that in some sort of an acceptable manner. I may be walking alone, but I think I have my followers, for which I'm truly grateful and thankful for. There's a rabbit just after crossing my pathway there, and another rabbit. The quietness, apart from the sounds of nature here, is just unbelievable. It's very, very hard to describe how it feels to be walking here this morning. It surely does. Now, one description that certainly cannot or does not apply to this stage of St. Declan's Pilgrim Way, and that's boring. To begin with anyway, I don't do boring, never have done, and probably and hopefully never will do boring. Boring is wasted energy. Now once again, we come to another junction here. So this is the Fethard Road, 14 kilometres. So the sign up there over my head in the sunshine says St. Declan's Way, Cashel, which is the way I came, and I'm heading to St. Declan's Way, Ardmore. So here, underneath the hedgerow, is the sign you need to keep looking out for. Now there seems to have been a deviation here. So this is the new section. Here we can see the ruins of Loch Kent Church and Graveyard. This dates from some time in the late 1400s or early 1500s. According to local folklore, Oliver Cromwell and his troops passed here after the siege of Clonmel in 1650 and decided to attack the church. As Cromwell entered on horseback, his horses' hooves became stuck in a large rock. This gave the clergy within the church time to flee to safety. Loch Kent is one of many ruined medieval churches that dot the Irish landscape. During the turbulent 1500s and 1600s, churches like Loch Kent fell out of use as the English Protestant ascendancy asserted control of Ireland and pushed the Catholic faith to its margins. Thereafter, these church sites became graveyards, and the earliest headstones in Loch Kent date to the 1700s. This is such a tranquil, serene, and beautifully maintained church ruin and graveyard. And looking at it this morning as I walk around and view the different stones and the ruin of the church, it's amazing how you feel inside when you're in the presence of something like this, on a pilgrim walk like this. It sort of captures your imagination. It hugs your spirit and your body, and it gives you an opportunity to stop, think, and reflect about times past. And I think in times of our lives we need to stop and think about where we actually came from. I actually said that to one of my daughters many moons ago when she decided, when we had left Australia and came back to live in Ireland after many years, my youngest daughter decided to go back and live her life in Australia. After all, she was reared and brought up and educated most of her life down under, apart from portions of it. And I remember the morning I took her to the airport and I said, Jess, please never forget where you came from. And at the time I probably didn't reflect a lot on those profound words. But when I come and I walk around a place like this, a historic, beautiful, tranquil, serene place like this, those words bear huge significance in my life. So, to sum up, if you're passing here on the St. Declan's Pilgrim Way, Stage 1, pop in here and say a few words to the man above, which I am now going to do. I'm going back down to the junction and I'm resuming my trek towards Cahir. Now folks, we've arrived here at a junction where two roads converge. New Inn is 3, Feta is 13. But St. Declan's Way goes through this turnabout style here through that field. So keep an eye out for that. So we're going through here. Now I haven't been through here before, so this is a new section that I need to now go and experience. Trying to get through the gate with a backpack. Now, but fair dues to the landowner, who obviously would have given permission for the Pilgrim Way to come through here. And I suppose it takes you off long stints of roadway. Up here ahead of me there's a magnificent hawthorn bush or tree in bloom. That's a really impressive specimen. When you walk St. Declan's Way, you will be presented with many different rural landscapes. And when you'll manage to get yourself to stage 3, when you must encounter the Knockmildown Mountains on your way to Lismore, or to Montmelry and Lismore, you will encounter a country of a different calibre. You can probably see from the pictures that even the grass is rather high. It's pretty well trampled upon. So once again, keep your eyes peeled for the blue and white St. Declan's Way marker. Now we go from one field to another. Here's a structure that I haven't been on before. Reason being, well, there's a deviation that this is a new section of trackway. So here, over a pretty swiftly flowing stream in the shade from the pretty warm sunshine, it's so tranquil here. It's so peaceful here. It's so beautiful here. So I'm going to keep on moving and falling behind a little bit because of different things that I've been looking at. So come on, join me and let's keep going. Okay, as I make my way onto the single file bridge, it's a new structure in a new portion of track. I'm continuing on my way now at pace as I make my way to Cahir. So we just admire the scenery for a few moments and then we keep on going, okay? If you get an inclement day on your walk, or we had a few inclement days prior to the walk, which we can get very often in dear Rhode Island, and you come along here with normal sneakers or normal runners, you're going to get wet, folks. we've entered this wooded section, and it's really gorgeous in here. Well, you know I love wooded areas, but it's really gorgeous in here. It's shaded, it's dry. Underfoot is very, very dry. You're walking on a mossy surface. But this is a beautiful part. So well done, folks. This is ideal. Isn't that pretty as a picture? Another beautiful crop of rapeseed oil. The delights of rural Ireland. On the most beautiful day this year. The day I finished my island odyssey to Garnish Island, it was a day like this. It's a touch warmer here today. When I did Garnish Island, I was on the coast. You had that sea breeze. Here we're in the country. In County Tipperary, the sea is a long ways away, so the heat is more intense. But I'm not complaining. I just love it. I was just thinking there, the pollinators are going to have a field day here in an environment like this. They sure are. It's 20 degrees. 20 degrees. And do I look like a man that's complaining? If it pushed up into 30 degrees, I wouldn't complain. And if it pushed up into 35 degrees, I wouldn't complain. One note. When I walked down under, there was one particular summer that the mercury hit 42 degrees. And I didn't complain then. Now you can see there from the video that it's a beautiful day and the ground is dry, but the grass is absolutely drenched. Take a look. So if you're wearing canvas sneakers or runners, I hope you'll have a change of socks. Now I'm coming back onto a roadway, so I'm leaving the rural environment for the moment. Now, of course, I could have continued on my familiar track from 2 years ago and still arrive here at this juncture. But I decided to go and have a sticky beak along the new portion of track. Now this is the road that I told you 2 years ago to be aware when you're walking. It's a busy roadway, so be very, very aware. Now you've only got a short distance to walk before you start going up here to my right through rural countryside once again. So I suppose the reason for the amended new portion of track was to keep people off the road as much as possible, especially if there are large groups walking, which there are often. Since I began my walk this morning, I haven't actually sat down for a minute. Now on this busy road, keep an eye for the marker post, which is on the left hand side, and you're walking on the right. So you're walking down this way. So you're coming off the busy road once again. And you're on a road less travelled with grass up the centre. Now when you come towards the end of the track off the roadway, you have 3 different options. Well, there's only one option you must take. You don't take the one to the left, which goes to the farmyard, and the one to the right goes up to private property. So inside the gate, about 5-10 metres, is the wayward sign for St. Declan's Way. So always familiarise yourself before you start walking. Again, the way marker sign is on your right. As you can see, beware of the electric fences on your left and on your right. Just don't interfere with anything in a private scenario. Stick to your walking, say hello if you meet, and keep going. It's now 21.5 degrees Celsius. I suppose when I walk 85, 90, 92 kilometers a week, the body assumes a flexible approach and willingness to all terrains. All the farmers are getting ready for the first cut of silage. Now I've been walking about 3 hours and 40 minutes. No sit down as yet, no lunch as yet. Walking along here in this absolutely stunning morning in rural South Tipperary. You can see the landscape is a clutter of patchwork quilt landscapes. Rapeseed oil, ploughed fields to my right, winter barley to the left, a sky blue to the horizon, quietness on the roads, and I'm the only person in the world.
Tears are falling from the sky, but I'm not worried. I know I will end up dry.
A temperature update. 22 degrees. Now once again, I've arrived onto an awfully busy road. A lot of meandering bends on this, so for goodness sake, if you come this way, well, you'll be coming this way if you're doing St. Declan's stage 1 way, you will be coming this way. Just be vigilant of traffic to your front, and more even so, traffic from behind. God, it's like walking in heaven, and I'm hoping and assuming heaven is like this, but heaven on earth today. It is just so beautiful. Unfortunately, I don't have the bird in my possession to put it up and skim it across the surface of that glorious looking crop. But the aroma is enough to make you want to make an encampment here for the night. It is just unbelievable. A scene like this would certainly want and attempt you to stay here for a few hours. Sit here and have the lunch and breathe in the aroma from this crop of rapeseed oil. St. Declan's Way and all the beauty, the scenery, the wildlife, the sounds, and this, the icing on the cake as I make my way through stage 1 of St. Declan's Pilgrim Way. So, St. Declan's Way to my right, and eventually I'm just 5 kilometers from my destination, which is Cahir. As I depart that unbelievable, tranquil scene there at the gates, I make my way on over the last 5 kilometers of my stage 1 St. Declan's Pilgrim Way trek. 22.4 degrees as I speak to you people. Now, this is my second trek on St. Declan's Way, beginning this morning on stage 1. Now, the first time I did St. Declan's Way over 5 stages, I did a very comprehensive documentary as I went along over 5 days. This one is really and truly only just going to be a walk and a chat. There's no point in me rehashing the history and the geography that I bestowed upon you on my first trek 2 years ago. So I hope you forgive me for that. Now at this junction, this is where we meet the old Cashel road. So we go left here and we head to Cahir town. Sign across the road says St. Declan's Way, Ardmore. So we'll stay on this side of the road for the moment because there's no place to tuck in. The car comes from on the right hand side. Welcome to Cahir. Now the road widens out here when you're in close proximity to the mill. You can walk the left or the right, but I'll be going to the right hand side. I'm here in the town, heritage town of Cahir. That concludes my first stage 1 of St. Declan's Pilgrim Way from Cashel to here in Cahir, County Tipperary. It's been a gorgeous walk. Countryside is magnificent today. Now make my way to the square of the heritage town here in Cahir and have my St. Declan's Pilgrim passport stamped. Folks, looking forward to seeing you on stage 2. Thanks for your company and see you on the next stage. Okay, bye-bye for now. I've arrived here at the termination point of St. Declan's Way, the heritage town of Cahir in County Tipperary. What a delightful first stage I had this morning in delightful weather and beautiful countryside. Thank you for tagging along, and I look forward now to seeing you on stage 2 of St. Declan's Way, from Cahir to Bridge. What a stunning day it is here. So I loved this stage 1. Now looking forward to the next stage, stage 2. So from Cahir in County Tipperary. Bye bye.